Can I get a 5x5 here? Welcome to Emergency Management Associates. My name's Ron Tyler. We're coming to you from the Area Command, 392 miles west of Kitty Hawk Beach, North Carolina. Can we get a 5x5? Demon Catman has 5x5. Thank you so much. Catherine's there. Don Patoka. Aubrey's here. Thank you so much for giving me that information. It helps, especially when YouTube keeps knocking things off. We're going to now go over to the United States Army Barbershop Quartet giving us the Pledge of Allegiance and the United States National Anthem. Would everybody please rise?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now would you make welcome, straight from Washington, D.C., the United States Army Corps Quartet.
Yeah.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Oh yeah! Come on, folks, let them know it.
Let them know it. The United States Army Barbershop Quartet delivering our national anthem. The host of the Barbershop Quartet Convention gave us the Pledge of Allegiance, and we appreciate that. We appreciate all of our men and women of our armed forces. We appreciate them so much. We appreciate our allied armed forces as well. God bless them all. God bless them all and their families. All of our allies, all of our U.S. Armed Forces, Coast Guard, Army, Navy, Marine Corps, Space Force, Air Force. God bless you all. And may God return you home to your families in safety when your tours of duty end. We appreciate you ever so much and thank you for your service. Folks, we got a lot to talk about. I apologize for coming on the air so late. I had to reboot my computer twice to be able to get on the air. There was noise, there was all sorts of background crap. I didn't know where it was coming from, and then it wouldn't let us on the air at all. I rebooted the computer and we're here. I think we have a pretty good sound here, and I hope that we stay on the air too. We got a lot to talk about. I want to start off this program with a tribute to Heather, Hurricane Heather. She's not with us tonight. Hurricane Heather had surgery earlier today. Right before we went on the air, she sent a message to us and said she'll be with us tomorrow. She's going home now. I told her, take it easy, don't push it. We want you back on with us, but just take care of yourself. We love her very much. She talks to us about the weather, and she does a great job. She gives us a lot of information every day. Today, she was in the hospital. We were praying for her, and we're thankful for her being with us now. God bless you, Heather. We hope you're watching this now. It's great to have you here. Don Patoka says 8 by 5 now, Sir Ron. Thank you so much, Don. Appreciate it. Anyway, I wanted to show you this because Heather talks about the weather a lot. Down here in the tropics, just north of South America, near the northern point of Colombia, actually, okay, we have a storm going on, and it's very light, very, very light. Let me try to zoom in here to give you a better idea of what's going on. It's a small swirl of clouds. It has the slightest chance of developing into a much larger tropical depression over the next few days. It has a small chance, okay? However, over here in the central mid-Atlantic, there is a non-tropical low pressure system that has developed, and it has a very good chance of becoming tropical depression and into a tropical storm. It has those characteristics, and it has a very good chance of getting to be a named storm later this week, possibly as late as Thursday or Friday this week. And if that's the case, it could head for the United States East Coast. We're going to be watching this storm with eagle eyes and see what happens here. But folks, this is typical this time of year. The national hurricane season actually ends, I believe, the end of this month. Okay? Tropical update. Watch for Tropical Storm Vincent later this week. That's the one we're looking at off here to the right in the central mid-Atlantic. Let's keep an eye on that coming up. There's a very good possibility it could happen. Now, I want to go over now to New Zealand. Southland, New Zealand. Today, there was a 5.1 large earthquake. Now, I got into an argument on one of the earthquake chats. There's a guy that said I was so wrong that a 5.1 is a moderate earthquake. Only recently did USGS change the status of earthquakes. As we've been talking about, USGS called a 4.0 to a 4.9 quake a light quake. Before that, it was a moderate quake. Now they've changed the 5.1 to be a moderate quake. This is not a moderate quake in my book. I don't trust, as you know, I don't trust the agency. They have not earned our trust. They keep downgrading quakes. Folks, they downgraded this to a 4.7. This came out as a 5.1 earlier this morning. They downgraded it to a 4.7. Let's go over to the USGS map. I want to show you this. Okay? They keep doing this. And I think it's ever so wrong. Okay? Now, I might be out to lunch. I've been told I've been out to lunch for a long time, but that's okay. That's just fine. I don't care what people call me as long as they call me in time for dinner. That's my philosophy. Call me in time for dinner and I don't care what you call me. You can tell me I'm out to lunch. It doesn't really matter to me anymore. Over here, down here in Southland, New Zealand, okay, this is what they called now a 4.4. They've actually downgraded this almost to full magnitude. They downgraded this almost to full magnitude. Let me show you this. Okay? A 4.4 now. Just 2 hours ago it was a 4.7. Okay? This is what they do. USGS. No, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to stoop to their stupidity. They downgraded this to a 4.4. I don't think this was ever a 4.4. Okay? This was a 5.1. 35 miles north-northwest of Tainau, T-E, capital A-N-A-U, New Zealand. Southland, New Zealand. This happened at 3:36 a.m. Eastern Time this morning. Okay? They're also not showing any other earthquakes here in New Zealand. There's about a dozen other quakes here that they're not telling us about, which is also very typical of what they do. Okay? Up here, north of there, in the Kermadec Islands, this is a larger quake, a 4.7. 34 miles deep. A 4.7 moderate quake, 34 miles deep. Going up here into Fiji, this is near Labasa, Fiji, L-A-B-A-S-A, Labasa, Fiji. This is a 5.1 magnitude earthquake. Okay? Then we go over to Papua New Guinea, over to where we have UlaWun volcano going on. Okay? This is a 5.0 earthquake today. A 5.0 earthquake today. Now I'm just going to briefly take this USGS map down just for a few minutes. I want to show you something. UlaWun volcano erupted yesterday. I said yesterday it was about a 18 to 20,000 foot height. This actually was 50 to 60,000 feet high, up into the stratosphere. 50 to 60,000 feet high into the stratosphere, guys. Look at it when it erupted here. Today it's continuing to erupt, but it's not a violent eruption as it was yesterday. You can see fire pushing up out of the volcano. Lava fountains reaching about 40 or 50 to 100 feet high. Okay? That was what it looked like yesterday. Today it's fountaining. It's also going down the side of the volcano. Lava going down the side of the volcano. UlaWun volcano erupting. Okay? Let's now go back to the EMA or the USGS map. Not my map, but their map. Okay? I don't take any any solace by calling it mine. It's not. It's theirs. Okay? Let's show you these other earthquakes, and then we'll go back and talk about the volcanoes going on. Okay? Over here, south of Papua New Guinea, southeast of Papua New Guinea, this is a large 5.5 magnitude earthquake. Okay? This is a middle magnitude quake. Okay? A 5.5 can do very disastrous damage if this had hit on land. This is 62 miles southeast of Poponaleta, Papua New Guinea. Okay? Right here. If this had hit anywhere near a populated area, this would have done a lot of damage. This is in the mountains here in Papua New Guinea. I believe this is also a aftershock of a 6.0 earthquake that hit here 2 weeks ago. This is a 5.5 magnitude earthquake here. It's in the mountainous regions of Papua New Guinea, as you can see. It's on the edge of the plate here. Okay? We do have populations down here. We do have populations down here. We have populations, I believe, right over in here. Okay? Not a lot, but we have populations there. I just was looking around here, right here. Okay, we have a good sized city here. So folks, this earthquake was felt all over this island. But because it was so far north, it wasn't felt as strongly as if it had hit in the populated area. Okay? Let's just take a look real quick here again. I'm not sure if I saw this earlier. Yes, I did see this. There's nothing right here. So these people got past a good fly ball. This could have been more dangerous than it is. Okay? If it hit in those populated areas, those people would be having a hard time right now. This earthquake right here, this is also a 5.0 large earthquake. They call it a moderate earthquake. It's not. This is a 5.0 earthquake, 20 miles south-southeast of Madong, Papua New Guinea. Okay? Madong, Papua New Guinea. All right? And you can see in this particular slide where that earthquake fault is. Okay? You can see it quite clearly here. Okay? That's why that earthquake hit. You can see it all the way down here. Okay? Also further northwest here, also on the fault. This is a 5.3 large earthquake here, 43 miles northwest of Inzrom, Indonesia. Inzrom, Indonesia. Now I'll back out here. I want to show you this for effect. Look at the area where they're not showing any earthquakes at all. There's about 18 earthquakes in this area. They're not showing us. Why not? They want us to believe that those other 5 earthquakes were just moderate earthquakes, but look again. They're still not telling the truth. They're omitting what is actually happening. They're not showing the earthquakes. They're just not doing their job. Okay? They're not doing their job over here in Iran, Iraq, Tajikistan, Afghanistan. They're not doing their job over here in Turkey. They're literally not showing anything. Why not? Okay? There's 14 earthquakes over here in eastern Turkey in the Syria area. Quite a few earthquakes, aftershocks of the 9.0, 10.0 earthquake that hit here earlier this year, that killed over 5,000 people and at least that many injured as well. And Turkey and Syria are still trying to recover from that huge earthquake, and then they get 2s, 3s, and even 4.5s, 4.7s in this region that shake them up even more. And the 4s that they get actually do even more damage from the already stressed infrastructure. The infrastructure still collapses with the 4s. That's why, again, I can't even trust the USGS when they say the 4s are just light earthquakes. They're not. Those are moderate earthquakes that can cause moderate damage. Not light damage, but moderate damage, regardless of what they say. Earthquakes over here in Greece, they're not even talking about. There are earthquakes here. Earthquakes in Italy. The only earthquake they're talking about here is in northwestern Italy here. This is a 4.1 moderate earthquake, 4.3 miles deep, 6 miles west-southwest of Asilio, Italy. Over here near the, what shall I call it? The tourist trap of Italy and the French area. Okay? In this area right here. This is a semi-populated area, not huge population of people. It's in the northwestern mountains of Italy, in the Alps here. Kimberly Hopkins just gave us another $5 super chat. Kimberly, thank you so much. God bless you, Kim. We appreciate you very, very much. We appreciate you so much. Thank you, Kim. You're awesome. Anyway, I want to show you what else. They're not showing any earthquakes in Spain. There are a couple there. There are a couple more down here in the Strait of Gibraltar area. They're not showing any of those. Over here in the Azores, there's a few earthquakes over here in the Azores. They're not showing. Over here in the Canary Islands, Tenerife area, right here, they're not showing those earthquakes as well. Okay? What's up with that, guys? USGS, why are you not showing what is going on? Okay? Now, I want to go over here to Iceland. I want to talk to you about what's going on here in Iceland. I have a complete report on what is happening in Iceland today. Okay? As we have reported in past stories here, this is Grindavik, Iceland. This town is still evacuated. Some 3,800 people have been evacuated. Okay? Still evacuated. Now, it's going to get worse. It's likely to get much worse before it gets any better. Let me show you why. Okay? In Iceland, we have a volcano there, just northwest of Grindavik. Okay? Now this map, I'm going to talk to you about what it shows. And it's important to understand what's going on. In order to know what's going on, we're going to take a quick look at this whole thing. Okay? Let's go here. In the past 24 hours here, in the Grindavik, Iceland area, there's been 165 earthquakes in the past 24 hours. Now, besides that, let me show you something else. Okay? We'll come back to this map in just a second. They're actually drilling for water, new resource for water, because the magma underneath the ground has gone up. It's reaching up just below the surface. So drilling is underway for a backup water supply. As of Tuesday morning, there's been around 90 quakes since midnight. Like I said, there's 165 quakes during the past 24 hours. 90 of those have been since midnight, and this was about 12 noon today. 90 earthquakes in 12 hours. The sensitivity of the measuring devices, the seismographs, to detect small earthquakes is very low because it's been very stormy there. They've had rain and lightning over in Iceland. The latest risk assessment map that I had there that I'm going to pull up now. I want to show you their drilling for water as a backup water supply. Now let's talk about this map. This risk assessment map comes from the Icelandic Meteorological Office, what they call the Met. It shows the latest zoning of danger areas near Grindavik. 3 areas which are labeled A, B, and C. I'm going to explain those A, B, C areas. You see the color codes here. The head of Iceland's natural disaster insurance says it's difficult to estimate what the damage assessment to Grindavik is even going to be able to begin, because they keep having earthquakes. And while there's light damage right now, that could change as this magma continues to push up to the surface. There is a call for food aid for emergency responders and rescue teams that are working around Grindavik. A call for food aid. People bringing food out to the emergency responders, the police and fire departments in that area. Rescue teams from other cities, Borgarnes, Borgarnes, and I know I can't pronounce this adequately because I don't speak Icelandic. It's spelled Kirkjubaejarklaustur. 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 That's the best I can pronounce it. These rescue teams have been working in the Grindavik area since it was evacuated last week. The red dots here that you see on that map, the red dots are from drone footage of Grindavik, showing the results of a technical glitch with the footage, not evidence of any eruption yet. Today, Tuesday, it's been a very wet and windy start to the day. But as of 9:30 a.m. this morning GMT, there was still no eruption in the Lake James Peninsula. The latest risk assessment map that I'm showing you here from the Met shows the latest zoning of danger areas near Grindavik. 3 areas which are classified again A, B, and C. The head of Iceland's natural disaster insurance says again it's difficult to estimate when this damage assessment will begin because the magma has not gone up to the upper surface levels yet. They're still working on this. According to the Met, the Icelandic Meteorological Assessment Agency, there are somewhat fewer earthquakes today than in the last few days, when around 1,500 to 1,800 earthquakes were recorded per day. 1,500 to 1,800 earthquakes per day. They believe that because of the weather situation is why the seismographs are not recording much information today. But still, in the last 24 hours, they recorded 165 earthquakes. From midnight to noon, they'd gotten 90. The Met Office reiterates that the strong winds that are currently sweeping the country will affect the sensitivity of the seismograph system to detect even the smallest earthquakes. Again, I showed you that drilling operation. They're drilling for backup water supply. Yesterday, the utility agency HS Viter started drilling for a backup water system for the Lake James Peninsula area and Grindavik in particular. They want to have a backup water supply for 25,000 residences and businesses that can be ready to go in the next 2 to 3 weeks' time. Now, I was privy to the news conference that they had with the Met early this morning. Really early this morning. Iceland is way ahead of our time by about 6 hours. So I got up early this morning to listen to this news conference. Okay? Now, the spring that they're drilling into is in a place called Arnaret. Arnaret. And that lies between Garo, Garo, with 2 dots above it, and Sangaroi, Sandgeroi, in Suurnesjärvi County, Sournesjaber. That's the county. The water project, is part of their emergency plan for backup water source and emergency heating as well. If an eruption or potentially more earthquakes could affect the capability of their present facility in Svartsenga. Svartsenga is spelled Svartsengi. That's where their present facility is. If that facility goes down, at least they will have a backup facility to provide water and emergency heating for 25,000 residents. This water source is part of the response plans for the earthquakes along the Great James Peninsula, and they will be used if the water stops flowing from the current water source near Langir, Alagir. Now, the seismologists and scientists say 25,000 residences and businesses can get drinking water from this water source. In addition, electricity infrastructure has also been strengthened. Additional transformers are being installed and cables laid, and various equipment has been improved, which enables a more reliable electrical system there in Iceland. Hot water is one of the most difficult parts of their emergency plan. A huge amount of energy and power comes from the hot water, and there is currently no system in place to replace it. The hot water system has been fueled by the upper magma chambers of the volcano, because the upper magma chambers of the volcano also heat up water that's in the ground. And Iceland has depended on those hot water supplies directly from the volcano. As you already know, the Blue Lagoon spa there got their water from the water tubes that fed the spring at the volcano. Blue Lagoon is now closed. It's been closed for a little over a week. Emergency heating plans are based on oil boilers now producing hot water for the area. If it stopped coming from Svartsenga, the boilers, though, could not exist in this country, and this is a project that would take a considerable amount of time to put together, even several months. And that is why it is absolutely necessary to get this project going right now. They're going into some of the coldest months of the year right now in Iceland. It's going to get very icy cold, way down below zero, way down below freezing, and it already is probably that way at night. The scientist that was talking said that their emergency heating is intended as a short-term solution, having that oil boiler going. And in the long term, it's necessary to ensure that a large number of residents get hot water from more than just one place. And in case the Great James power plant is a possible option, just in case. Now, right now, they've noticed less damage than they first thought was happening in Grindavik. They feared that there's going to be a lot more damage. There's less, as it turns out, there's less damage in Grindavik. We showed you damage that the fissures opened up. We showed you the steam coming from the magma beneath. That did happen. But there's actually less damage from those fissures that opened up. Otai Raffin Sigmarsson, he's a rescue worker in the Purebjorn team in Grindavik. Otai Raffin Sigmarsson. Okay, that's a rescue worker. He says he thinks the damage to houses and other buildings in that town is less than what people think. The Purebjorn rescue team in Grindavik has been carrying out various projects there recently. Otai Raffin Sigmarsson is a member of that team, who stepped aside as Landsbury chair to focus on work in Grindavik. He says that amongst other things they moved musical instruments from the music schools and helped in other road repairs as well. He says that many homes near the fissures are badly damaged, but elsewhere in the town the situation is better than most people think. For example, about 180 houses were without heat on Sunday, out of more than 1,000. 180 houses were without heat, but a major repair has hopefully reduced that number by at least half. If the whole town of Grindavik has electricity and many institutions are intact, such as the kindergarten and sports facilities, it should therefore not take too long to start operations again when Grindavik evacuees return. According to the Met Office, the zones that are defined here on this map are as follows. In Danger Area A that you see there, in the orangish yellow area, there's a danger due to earthquakes. In Danger Zone B, in that red area, there's a risk of volcanic eruptions, including fissures opening without warning, eruption at short notice, lava flow and hazardous gas contamination, SO2, sulfur dioxide, and CO2, carbon dioxide from the lava flowing in those areas. If that happens, that's what's going to happen. Okay? In Danger Area C, the purple area, there's an increased risk of volcanic eruptions as in Danger Zone B. However, there is an increased probability of an eruption and an increased probability of dangerous gas contamination. Escape routes must be known, and gas meters and gas masks must be carried by the rescue crews or the crews that are working on repairing the facility in Grindavik. They must be carried by those crews. The red dotted line on the map indicates the rough plan and the extent of the magma intrusion or the dike. The dike is that intrusion. Let me take this map down really quick so you can see what I'm talking about. A dike is magma pushing up from a magma source down beneath the surface of the ground. It looks similar like I have my hands arranged right now. The dike is pushing up, which is forcing the ground to separate, making a fissure open up. And if that dike gets closer, that dike of magma gets closer and closer to the surface, we're going to see an eruption in that same fissure where the dike opened up, where that fissure opened up. That's what they fear is going to happen. Okay? I wanted to make sure that everybody understood the possibility of extreme danger there in Iceland and what exactly people are facing. Now, I believe there's going to be one more press conference held in the morning. And I'm trying to be part of that. Okay? I've got one of the scientists that likes me, and he's given me information on how to be part of that. And so that's what I'm doing. And he's also helping to answer any questions that I have or that you may have for me. So if you guys have questions about what's going on in Iceland, send them to me so I can give them to him and he can answer those questions. Many of the people in Iceland speak English. Most of them do. English is their second language. Now, I didn't know this until today. There's a huge Polish population. Polish people left Poland because of the risk that they felt that they were going to have if they stayed in Poland and Russia attacked them. So there's a huge Polish population now in Iceland. And so they have Polish translators for these meetings. It's a big, huge thing that I didn't even realize. Okay? So these people in Iceland are really trying to get the message out to a lot of different people in a lot of different languages. And I'm very grateful for them to even include me in what's going on. Okay? I'm very grateful for that. Does anybody have any questions so far that I might answer about either what has happened in New Zealand, what has happened over in Papua New Guinea with the volcano and the other earthquakes, or anything else that's going on? I want to help get any questions answered. Okay? It's really important to me. Don Patoka just put our email address up there because, like I said, pictures and information are important. If you have any information for me, please send it to me. If I have and get any information from you, questions and whatever, I am more prepared to get those questions answered by the people in Iceland. Okay? Okay, I don't see any questions coming up right now. Kimberly Hopkins says she has to step away for a few minutes. No problem. Kim, thank you for all you do. I appreciate you so much. We have a lot going on, as you know. And I'm going to try to be part of that as much as possible. I want to make sure everything is happening and people know what's going on. Laura Marie says, has that volcano in Italy settled down? It has somewhat. Okay? Etna erupts on a regular basis. Etna erupts when you least expect it. There's two volcanoes over there, guys. Two volcanoes off of Sicily and Italy there. There's Etna, and it erupts on its own island, and the island has had people that live there, and they've sometimes had to be evacuated. Now, when that Etna erupted, it spread ash and all kinds of stuff throughout that area, and people even away from Etna had their cars and homes inundated with ash. They had to clear that off. Yes, there still has been some ash emissions, but not as much as it was last week. Thank you for that, Laura. I appreciate that. Evo says, Imperial Valley, please, Calipatria, notice cracks in or around the foundation of a home. That's going to happen. That's definitely going to happen. That volcano, guys, in fact, let's go back to the USGS map so I can show you what's going on there. You really have to keep an eye on it. Okay, where'd my map go? Here it is. Okay, I've got the USGS map here. Let's take down the banner there. And now I've got the map. Let's back it out here and go over to California. Let's back it out. Ooh, look at this. We've now got an earthquake here on the East Coast. This earthquake is over here on the Eastern Continental Divide. This is Jenkinsville, South Carolina. a 1.6 tremor here. It's over here in the Continental Divide area. Look at that. You can tell even from this map here. This is the top of the mountain, the top of the Continental Divide. Okay? A 1.6 tremor here today. Okay? Let's go over to California here. I want to show you where Calipatria is. Okay? Oh, look. Some more earthquakes. How about that? There are a bunch of earthquakes here. These earthquakes are on the southern San Andreas Fault. This is Westmoreland. This is a 1.4 tremor over there on the east side of Westmoreland there. You see the town of Westmoreland there. Okay? This is a 1.5 there. This is a 1.2. Further southeast here, okay, we have a 1.9. This, they say, is 3 miles east-southeast of Westmoreland. Guys, you know, I get kind of ticked off. Why? Why would I even care? Because I do. Right here is the town of Imperial. This earthquake is just maybe a mile, mile and a half northwest of Imperial. Okay? They have this 3 miles east-southeast of Westmoreland. This is a mile, mile and a half from Imperial. This is a 2.0 earthquake. A 2.0 earthquake. Now, they're not showing much of anything else happening except down here, just south of the border. This is Mexicali. This is in Mexicali, just barely on the Mexican side of the border. This is a 1.5 tremor here. A 1.5 tremor. Okay? Now, let's go over here to Calipatria. This is Calipatria. Okay? Over here is the Salton Butte volcano. The Salton Butte volcano is underwater here. This is the Salton Sea. Okay? The Salton Butte volcano, S-A-L-T-O-N Butte volcano. This is underwater. But the Salton Butte volcano is still has incoming magma to the volcano. And that magma is causing shaking going on. A lot of shaking going on. Okay? The shaking, for the most part, is being picked up by the Calipatria seismograph. The Calipatria seismograph. Now, let me take a moment, since you asked me about this. Let me pull up the earthquake information for this area. Stand by just a second while I pull up that information. I'm going to show you the Calipatria seismogram from that area. We haven't showed it for a little while. Okay? Well, I want to make sure you can understand and see what's going on here. Okay? And bring it down here. Oh, wouldn't you know it? I can't wait to show you this, guys. This is incredible. I've been telling you guys how the USGS and Caltech has been operating and cutting information off and not showing you, or us, I should say, all of us and everybody else, what is actually going on at Calipatria, California. This is almost unheard of. They should be showing us what is happening. Okay? But they're not. Let me show you the seismogram from Calipatria. This is going to blow your minds. It might blow your minds, okay? Look at the top of this, okay? You see Calipatria there on the map. Look at this, guys. In the past weeks, they've had the seismograph running from the day before. This seismogram is showing data from 6 p.m., 1800 hours, all the way through the rest of today. Well, folks, what they're showing is nothing at all from last night at 6 p.m. There is no data at all. Not at all. The first time they have any data is over here just after 7:15 a.m. this morning. So folks, this is 12 and a half hours of no data, meaning they shut off the seismogram. Or I'm not seismograph, they shut off the seismograph, the machine. They shut it off. Now, I've sent off letters to Caltech. This is a USGS seismogram, okay? I've also sent letters off to USGS asking them, why are you cutting off the seismograph at Calipatria? Why? I've got no response from the agencies. None. Okay? Look what they're showing here after 7:15 this morning. Look at this data here. Yes, we have over here on the top right with the red line and the blue earthquake there. That's at least a 2.2 earthquake. Minor earthquake, but a 2.2 nonetheless. If the seismograph is reporting like it should, if the seismograph has been turned down, which they typically do, then this earthquake may have been larger than that. Look at these earthquakes here. Okay, I want to show you this that happened just before 12 noon today. Let's zoom in here and take a quick look at this. Okay, look at that earthquake here. Okay, this happened just after 12 noon, about 12:04, 12:05 this afternoon. The red line is computer generated to let the seismologist know, hey, look at this. This is important. Now, folks, you can see on the left side of that earthquake. On the left side, there are tremors leading up to the earthquake itself. Now, the red line here is cut off at the top and cut off on the bottom. I presume that red line is showing the strength of the earthquake, the P wave. If it's cut off at the top and the bottom, we're not getting an accurate report of what that earthquake is. Okay? Now, from that, okay, we see an earthquake here that probably lasted about 15 seconds. We go out to the right. Out to the right, we have almost 45 seconds and close to a minute of secondary wave. There's a triangle there. Okay, that blue area after the P wave is called a secondary wave, the triangle. Okay, it looks like a triangle. That triangle goes out about 45 seconds. This earthquake is larger than what they're saying it is. This is at least a 3.0 earthquake, and I'm not joking. This earthquake lasted a time period. The secondary wave is a long way. Then, on top of that, we have a body wave, and I've explained this many times to other people. There's a guy on another earthquake thread on Messenger that thinks I'm a kook, that I don't know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about P waves and secondary waves and body waves. He doesn't understand it, and he never will, because he has not studied it. If he'd study it, he'd find out that the secondary wave is equal to predicting how strong that earthquake was, because it's letting off stress from the original earthquake. Then the body wave carries out, and it's still moving. Then, on this particular case, that body wave goes out about 3 or 4 minutes, and all of a sudden it starts building into another earthquake, and you see it off to the right. That looks to me about a 2.3, 2.4 earthquake. And it may very well be. Okay? It wasn't that strong an earthquake. There's very little secondary wave, and yes, there's a small body wave. Okay? But let's go down here to just after 12:30. Okay? On that blue line. We have another earthquake, don't we? This earthquake lasts another 10 or 15 seconds, doesn't it? The secondary wave goes out for about maybe 10 or 15 seconds. This earthquake probably was a 2.8, 2.9 earthquake. Okay? Probably a 2.8, 2.9 earthquake. There's hardly any secondary wave. Okay? That's how I look at it. Okay? I look at the entire seismogram. I want to know exactly what's going on. And you can see these other earthquakes here. Now, most people will not feel a 2.2, 2.3, 2.9 earthquake. But if that earthquake gets up to 3.0, then we have a small earthquake. And small earthquakes can do just very small minor damage. Okay? You might feel the ground shake under your feet when there's a 3.0, 3.5 earthquake. It can happen. And you might see some damage to the ground. Possibly. Possibly. But if there's much stronger earthquake, then all of a sudden all bets are off. Stronger earthquakes, you're going to see damage. And it looks like they're hiding damage here. They're hiding the strength of the quakes. Okay? They're hiding the strengths of the quakes. And you can see there's a lot of tremors. There's also a lot of full-blown earthquakes. Down here at the bottom right, for example. The bottom right, where it shows a red line here with an earthquake. That's a 2.3, 2.4 minor earthquake. You're probably not going to feel that. But you can see some of these longer lines, they're stronger earthquakes. You know that for a fact. The shorter lined earthquakes, just minor tremors. Just minor tremors. You can see what's going on. But again, you have to ask yourself, and you have to ask them, why are you hiding the information on these seismograms? Because they're not showing it. They're absolutely omitting the information. Okay? Now, up here at the top, you can see a slight bit of information here about 7 p.m. Okay? A slight bit of information. This seismograph probably was turned way down because the line above it, that blue line above it, it's not showing anything going on, which to me would tell me, why are you hiding the information? Why did you turn the seismograph all but off? But then again, at the 7 o'clock line, between the 1845, which is 6:45 p.m., and 9:15, that's 7 p.m. It shows a little bit of seismic information here. A little tiny bit. Meaning they turned it way down. And yet the strength of that seismic information pushed up here even though it was turned down. That's what that's talking about there. Okay? So you can see exactly what's going on, guys. Okay? I hate to tell you guys, but they do this on a routine basis. Especially USGS and the Pacific Northwest Seismic Network. They turn the seismographs way down so it's not reporting anything. Okay? Now, I might on Friday show what's going on in California. I might on Friday show what's going on. The reason I say that is this. Let me take this down here and I'll show you what's going on just off the coast of California here. Okay? Just so you know what's happening. Okay? Let's go back here to the USGS map. Let's go north up into LA here. Okay? Yes, you can see some other earthquakes here. Okay? Ocotillo Wells. Actually, this is just north of south of Ocotillo Wells. This is Progreso, Mexico. This is a 1.8 tremor down Progreso, Mexico. This earthquake here up at the top of the Chocolate Mountains is Ocotillo Wells as well. 1.6. I believe this is probably at Ocotillo Wells Park. Okay? At the top. Well, it could be just below the Chocolate Mountains on the east side of the Chocolate Mountains here. Over here is Julian, the Apple capital of San Diego. This is a 1.0 tremor here. North of there, just for kicks and giggles, Warner Springs, northeast San Diego County. This is Lake Henshaw, northeast of Escondido. A 0.8 microquake here. Palomar Mountain. Palomar Mountain. This is a 1.0 tremor at Palomar Mountain today. Folks, this is the Elsinore Fault. These earthquakes down here are on the Elsinore Fault. Okay? Further north here. Again, this is 6 miles west-northwest of Palomar Mountain. A 1.4 tremor here. Okay? That's what's happening there. Let's go up north here. This is Idlewild. Okay? Idlewild. Idlewild is a town in the San Bernardino Mountains. A tiny little mountain town. It's a ski resort town during the winter. During the summer, it's a hiker's paradise. People can go there, rent these small A-frame cabins, stay the night or weekends over in Idlewild. They've got restaurants. They've got all kinds of cool shops there. It's a wonderful place to be. This is also part of what we call the Anza Gap. This is a 1.5 tremor in Idlewild in the Anza Gap. This is a 0.7 northeast of Idlewild. Northeast of Idlewild. Okay? Fun. We go north. This is Banning, California. Banning, California. Idlewild here, guys, this is the San Jacinto Fault here. Banning, California up here. This is the west side of the San Andreas. A 2.0 earthquake. Here in Cabazon, also part of the Anza Gap. Cabazon, a 1.6 tremor. It's on the San Andreas. This is Banning, California, 0.8 microquake on the San Andreas, northeast of there. This is Big Bear City, California, in the mountains there in California. Big Bear, I believe this is also a volcano, a 2.2 earthquake there. Let's go down here near Los Angeles, just south of LA. Home Gardens, guys, Home Gardens. This whole area was full of earthquakes prior to Ridgecrest. Now we got hit and miss tremors and earthquakes here. Okay, this here they have labeled as a quarry blast. It's in the hills northeast of a quarry here. Okay, northeast of the quarry. This is 1/3 of a mile deep. I honestly don't think it's even part of the quarry. They're calling this a quarry blast, a 1.8 magnitude quarry blast. Okay, but you can see here it's quite a distance from the quarry. They do that. Further up here, they've labeled this a quarry blast as well. This is a 1.7 tremor here, and they say this is part of a quarry blast 1 mile east-southeast of Home Gardens. Now folks, look at where we're at here. Look at where we're at. Number one, this is on a highway. This is on a roadway here. Look at this. This is not a quarry blast. This is 1/3 of a mile deep. This is a tremor out here. This is an earthquake tremor out here. 1.7 tremor out here in Home Gardens. It's also, look folks, there's a housing development right here. They're not going to be blasting near a housing development. They're not going to be blasting in the middle of a highway. It's not going to happen. There's an interchange system right here just north of that blast, that earthquake. It's not an earthquake. I'm sorry, it's not a quarry blast. It's an earthquake. That's an earthquake. Home Gardens, California. Go figure. Okay? North of there. This is Ontario. San Bernardino County, California. This is a 1.0 tremor in Ontario, California. This is in Glen Avon, California here. A 1.1 tremor. This is 6.2 miles deep. 10 kilometers deep. This other earthquake over here in Ontario, this is 3.4 miles deep here. Rob52 says, oh no, buffering. I'm so sorry about that, Rob. Doggone 'em. I don't get it why they're doing it. Now what I want to show you offshore from LA. Okay, over here. This is southeast of San Clemente Island. 29 miles southeast of San Clemente Island. Okay, you can see San Clemente Island just north of there. This is a 2.0 minor earthquake. Okay, north of there, this is south of Santa Barbara Island, a 2.6 earthquake, 2.6 miles deep. A 2.6 magnitude quake, 2.6 miles deep out here. Okay? All kinds of fun out here. Yes, they're having earthquakes over here. Okay? Let's go up on the San Andreas Fault, right next to the Garlock Fault here. There's a 1.6 earthquake here. It's at Mountain Club, California, 6 miles east of Pine Mountain Club. This is 5.5 miles deep. Right here. They're calling this a quarry blast right on top of the Garlock Fault. A 1.3 quarry blast. This is 0.2 of a mile deep. 0.2 of a mile deep. Guys, it's in the mountains here. It's a distance from that quarry here. Yes, there's a quarry south of there. This is probably 2 miles north of the quarry. This is not a quarry blast. This is also 0.7 of a mile deep. Okay, this is not a quarry blast. This is a tremor here. 1.3 tremor here on the Garlock Fault. You can see it here. The Garlock Fault. The Garlock Fault reaches up here to Ridgecrest here. Up to the Ridgecrest area here. You don't see any earthquakes here today. Okay? You see a quarry blast out here. Okay? This is the Mojave Desert. This is a 1.2 tremor. They have this as 0.6 or 0.6 of a mile deep here. But folks, guess what? There's a quarry here. Look at that. Right down here deep in underneath that quarry. This might have been a tremor underneath that quarry. I don't think this was a blast. Okay? It's down beneath that quarry. Because they blasted there before, they weakened the crust of the earth there. That's why they may have had a tremor that deep. 1.2 tremor, 0.6 of a mile deep there. inside the quarry. Okay? Over here, they say this is another quarry blast here. It's on the outside of the quarry. 1.6 tremor here on the outside of the quarry. This may be a quarry blast. Yes, it might be. This is a half of a mile deep. Okay? What are they mining out here? They're mining boron. Boron for borax soap. They're mining boron for borax soap out here. They've been doing it for about 50 or 60 years here, at least. At least. Oh, now they're showing some earthquakes here. How about that? This is a 1.3 tremor here at Ridgecrest. 1.3 tremor here at Ridgecrest. South of Ridgecrest is Searles Valley, a 0.8 microquake here. Northeast of Ridgecrest, this is Little Lake, California, a 1.1 tremor here. Okay? That is the northeast side of the Garlock Fault here. Okay? That's what's going on here. We can trace this further north here. This is San Simeon. This is 2.0 earthquake here in San Simeon. It's also on the Oceana Fault. The Oceana Fault, a 2.0 earthquake. We go further north and east here on the San Andreas. Well, this is a 2.0 near New Idra, California. 2.0 near New Idra, California. It's also on the San Andreas Fault. Now, folks, they have taken the USGS map down. I'm going to have to reset it here. Rob 52 says the USGS compass is off again. Yes, it's always off. It's always off. I don't think they've ever been completely right about what's going on. I'm sorry, they just don't. It's sad. You know, and then they ask me, why don't you trust us? And then that guy today on that other earthquake thread on Messenger, oh, Ron, you don't know what you're talking about. Oh, really? I don't know what I'm talking about. That's interesting. I really do know what I'm talking about. They do it all the time. They have no gall. They literally have no gall. They don't think anything about lying to us. They don't think anything about not telling us what's going on. They don't think anything about reducing the size and magnitude of the earthquakes. Okay? They don't care. One of these days there's going to be a major earthquake, and it's going to kill thousands of people. And they're going to tell everybody, oh, that's just a light earthquake. Oh, that's just a moderate 5.5, 5.8 earthquake. Really? A moderate earthquake doing substantial damage in Los Angeles? Rob and I both seen it in Northridge. Okay? We seen it in Northridge. That was a 6.9 earthquake, and if they go by present USGS standards, that 6.9 would be a large quake. I'm sorry, it's not true. It's not true. A 6.9 earthquake is a very large earthquake. 6.0, 6.9 is considered to be, or was considered to be, a very strong earthquake. 6.0, 6.9, a very strong quake. Now it's large because they want to lie to people. They don't want people knowing what's going on. So down here in San Simeon, we have a 2.0 earthquake, 3.6 miles deep. We go north here, New Idra, California, 2.0 minor earthquake, 1.1 miles deep on the San Andreas Fault. We go further north on the San Andreas, we go up to the Pinnacles. The Pinnacles here is an oil and gas area on the San Andreas Fault. We have a 1.8 tremor here. This happens to be 2.4 miles deep on the San Andreas Fault. We move up here. This is what I really wanted to show you tonight. the San Francisco Bay Area. Okay? I want to go here just off the coast here. This is a 1.2 tremor here, 4 miles southwest of the San Francisco Zoo. 4 miles southwest of the San Francisco Zoo. Rob52 just gave us another $5 super chat. Rob, thank you so much, brother. I sure appreciate that. God bless you, my friend. God bless you, my friend. You're awesome. Don Patoka just put up something in the chat that I think you ought to know about. He said, if you're scared, maybe you should be. If you don't have your crap squared away, you should be terrified. If you're truly prepared, you'll be saying, thank you, Jesus, for the knowledge and the ability. If you're not prepared, you have no promise. If you're not prepared, you have no promise. That's what the Lord said. If you're not prepared, you have no promise. Okay? It's one of the Lord's promises to us. It's a covenant between us and the Lord. If we're prepared, we're not going to be scared. We're not going to be scared. A 1.2 tremor just outside of the San Francisco Zoo today. Further south here, east-southeast of Pacifica, California. Let's zoom in on this. This is a 1.5 tremor here. It's in the hills just southeast of the golf course. 1 mile, it says 1 mile east-southeast of Pacifica. That could be, okay? Pacifica is right there. It's right there. Down here is the golf course. I've actually played golf on that course. I've seen deer on the course. Okay? A 1.5 tremor southeast of Pacifica, California. Okay? But there's more, guys. Look at this. A 1.4 tremor out here, 2 miles north-northeast of Millbrae, California. Where's it at? This is on the San Francisco Airport runway. This is the aftershock of a 4.5 earthquake that hit here about 1 month ago. This is a 1.4 tremor beneath the runway. I think it's probably right 20 at San Francisco Airport. This is a 1.1 here at 1 left. I think runway 1 left here at the San Francisco Airport. Okay? Earthquakes here at the airport. Aftershocks. Aftershocks at the San Francisco Airport. Okay? One more out here. This is Piedmont, California. This is a 1.3 here. Going north, San Francisco Bay. This is a quarry. This is an actual quarry here. This is a 1.8 near Venetia, Santa Venetia, California. At a quarry. 1.8 tremor here at the quarry. 1 mile deep. 1 mile deep. Now, folks, let's just play here. Let's think about this. Say there was a 7.0 earthquake here at the quarry. This quarry would be no more. This would be filled with water from San Francisco Bay. Would be completely filled with water from the San Francisco Bay because there's a quarry right there. Unreal. Now, I don't know what they're mining there. I have no clue what they're mining at all. But those are the earthquakes at San Francisco Bay. Right here, this is Middletown, California. This is a 2.1 minor earthquake out here. Okay? And if the truth be known, This, I don't know how far north the Hayward Fault goes, but this looks like it could be on the Hayward Fault out here. North of there, 100 miles north of San Francisco Bay, the geysers facility. As I've explained this to you here, the geysers facility is just like that geothermal facility down just south of the Salt Butte volcano, and also out at Koza Volcano, and out at north of Reno. North of Reno, there's another geothermal plant there, where man has drilled into the upper magma chambers of this volcano here. This is the Clear Lake volcano. Man has drilled into the upper magma chambers of the Clear Lake volcano, in this case, to obtain steam from the volcano to power turbines here to generate electricity. That's what they're doing here. They have 80 turbines here in the geysers facility. 80 different turbines. They have, I don't know how many drill points. But everywhere where there's a drill into the earth, a hole in the earth, man-made hole, we have an earthquake. That's what's happening here. This earthquake here is a 0.7. They say it's 4 miles west of Cobb, California. It's in the geysers complex here. It's in the geysers complex. Guys, there's drill points all over this area. Drill points everywhere. That's why there's 80 turbines here to use the steam from the Clear Lake volcano to generate electricity here. They do this day in, day out here. Pacific Gas and Electric, Rocky Mountain Power, and 2 other energy conglomerates to get power from the geysers facility here. Okay? Rocky Mountain Power supplies power to Salt Lake City, and probably to most of Utah. Up here, this is Ferndale, California, a 2.0 earthquake here. Folks, this is in the Cascadia Megathrust earthquake zone. Okay? Earlier last year, I believe it was September, October last year, we had an 8.0 off the coast of Ferndale, California. This would probably be then an aftershock of that 8.0. This is a 2.0 minor earthquake here today. 10.5 miles deep. 10.5 miles deep. We go up here into the Pacific Northwest, there's hardly anything shown here, which is sad. Yes, we have a tremor right here. This is Mount Hood. This is a 1.0 tremor here in the foothills, the southern foothills of Mount Rainier. This is south of Government Camp. USGS has this as 2 miles east of Government Camp. Guys, that's factually false. Factually false. Government Camp is right up here. Government Camp is right there. Right there. Look at this. That's Government Camp. This tremor is just south. It's not east anything. It might be 2 miles south of Government Camp, but it's not 2 miles east of anything. Again, their compass is either wrong or they're lying about the information. Mount Hood. This one is at Mount St. Helens. Okay? This is a 0.6 microquake at Mount St. Helens, on the rim of Mount St. Helens. Guess what? This is a half-mile deep. A 0.6 microquake a half-mile deep. There's magma just down beneath the summit of this volcano. See this huge lava rock here? at the summit of Mount St. Helens? This huge lava rock is what's keeping the magma down inside the volcano. Guess what? There is evidence of magma shift. There is deformation occurring at Mount St. Helens. Folks, Mount St. Helens has been erupting off and on for 1,000+ years. There is evidence that this volcano could erupt. I heard a report today that talked about this and talked about the deformation that was occurring inside the crater here. Okay? Magma shift occurring down beneath this summit. There's a volcanic uplift occurring. Okay? That's what's going on here. Okay? I think you guys ought to know about it. Those of you that are up here in the Pacific Southwest, you have a reason to be worried, especially since USGS is not showing any earthquakes or tremors at all. Guess what? There's hundreds of earthquakes and tremors all over this area. They're not telling us about it, meaning they're omitting the information. If they're omitting the information, they're lying. Omission is a lie. Plain and simple. Earthquakes over here near Queen Charlotte Island and also over here around Vancouver Island. They're not showing that. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they do. Over here in Alaska, we just had an earthquake here. Let's zoom in here and talk about this earthquake here. Just had an earthquake here. Guess what? Old Ililama volcano. I highlighted a 1.4 tremor here at Old Ililama volcano, probably down inside the volcano. This one here is south of Old Ililama. This is a 3.1 small earthquake southeast of Old Ililama volcano. This is a 0.1 microquake. Look at Old Ililama volcano right there. Okay? This is a 2.4. Okay? Swarms of earthquakes happening at Old Ililama volcano. Okay? They're happening. They're happening. Over here in southern Alaska here, north of Anchorage, up here. This is a 2.0 earthquake 8 miles northeast of Houston, Alaska. Houston, Alaska. Here's a 2.0, they say that's 19 miles north of Willow. Northwest of there, this is Skretna, Alaska. 17 miles northeast of Skretna, Alaska. SKWENTNA. Skretna, Alaska. This is a 2.1 here. Notice all three of these earthquakes are actually four. There's one southwest there. This is southern. They say this is southern Alaska. It surely is. It's north of Anchorage. That tremor is north of Anchorage. It's a 1.4. So we have a 1.4 here. Directly south or northwest of there, a 2.0 in Houston, Alaska. Directly northwest of there, another 2.0. And directly northwest of there, a 2.1. Isn't that crazy? We had another earthquake here just recently, within the last 40 minutes. It's another 2.0 here. Just south, just northeast of Denali National Park. Two earthquakes here. Here's a 2.4, Denali National Park. They say this is 38 miles north of Petersville, Alaska. No, it's in Denali National Park, USGS. Quit lying to us. This is a 1.9, 2.0 earthquake, also again here in Denali. Over on the northwest side of Denali here, there's a series of microquakes and earthquakes here. This is a 1.9, 2.0 earthquake here, just northeast of Denali. USGS has it as southeast of Denali. You can see it is northwest of Denali here. Okay, northwest. This is also 2.0 northwest of Denali. They're saying it's 21 miles southeast of Denali. They have their compass completely bass-ackwards. Bass-ackwards. This is also 1.7 tremor here, also northwest of Denali National Park. Not 23 miles southeast of Denali. USGS, stop lying. Stop lying. I'm tired of catching you in lies. And I'm using you as plural. This, folks, is up in north central Alaska. This is Bettles, Alaska, Bettles, or Bettles, Alaska, a 2.0 earthquake. This is just south of the Arctic Circle. You can see the Arctic Circle here. Okay? Just south of the Arctic Circle. Okay? That's what's going on. Further over here, Holy Cross, Alaska. I saw that this morning when it happened. Okay? 1:34 this morning. Yes, I was up. This is a 3.0 earthquake over here in southwest Alaska. Okay? 3.0 earthquake here. That's what's going on seismologically around the world here. Now, there's a lot more that I want to tell you and discuss with you before we leave here. Quite a bit more. Okay? We talked about Iceland. We talked about the volcano still erupting down in Papua New Guinea. We talked about the tropics down in the Caribbean and also in the southeast Atlantic Ocean. Okay? We talked about all of that. Folks, last weekend on Saturday, the wife and I went to a Christmas festival here in Morganton. Before I talk to you about that, I want to show you this. Those of you that might be traveling around the United States for Thanksgiving, I want to show you this. If it ever snows again, and rarely you drive on it here, here's some advice from the southern states. If you rarely drive on snow, just pretend you're taking your grandma to church. There's a platter of biscuits and 2 gallons of sweet tea in glass jars on the back seat. She's wearing a new dress and holding a crock pot full of gravy. Drive careful. Drive very carefully. Don't apply your brakes heartily and thinking you're going to make a quick stop. You're not going to do that. You're going to dump the gravy on your grandma's lap all over her, and it's hot. The sweet tea is in jars beside her on the seat. That's going to end up on the seat and all over grandma. Be careful out there. Be careful out there. Now, the wife and I went to a winter Christmas festival here at Morganton. They had 2 horse-drawn carriages. This is the smallest of the horse-drawn carriages. These were pulled by 2 horses. The other horse-drawn carriage was pulled by 6 horses. It was quite a deal. It carried about 10 people at a time. They had a lot of fun. The wife and I didn't want to wait in line, so we didn't. Now, besides that, Carol wanted me to show you this. She knelt down by 2 Christmas balls, actually 3 Christmas balls here. She wanted me to show you this. I said, okay, I'll put up you and your balls here. No problem. And yes, I just said it. She expected me to say that too. Anyway, guys, I want to show you this. We had a lot of fun. I showed you the other night the beautiful Christmas tree where we had our Christmas picture taken in front of the tree. that they lit up for Christmas. It was very beautiful. Now, tonight, I want to kind of step away from Christmas and talk about Thanksgiving. Okay? Thanksgiving is upon everybody's minds. Today, I took apart a 20-pound pumpkin. This pumpkin right here. Took it out of the car. For Halloween, we went to a Halloween festival, a trunk or treat thing, and we took the pumpkin home and brought it in the house. Today I brought it into the kitchen and started cutting it up. I wanted to tell you how to turn a pumpkin into pumpkin puree for pies, cakes, and cookies, whatever you might be thinking of doing this Thanksgiving. Okay? I wanted to talk to you about it because it's a lot of fun. It takes a little bit of work, but it's a lot of fun. As I was cutting up the pumpkin, I was taking out the seeds. I put the seeds in a bowl. I washed them out. Then I put water in the bowl and had the seeds soaking in water that I put salt in. Okay? I'm letting them soak in a sea of salt bath. Okay? Later, I will take these seeds out of the salt bath they're in, and I'll spread them out on a cookie sheet and put them in the oven at about 100 degrees and let them bake there about 2 or 3 hours. Then we'll have it totally dried out, and we'll have pumpkin seeds to eat. A great tradition for a lot of people. Okay? Anyway, I'm going to show you how to make puree out of your pumpkin. You're going to want to cut that pumpkin up just like I did. Then, once you cut it up, you cut off the rind from the pumpkin, and that's what you see here. You see a great big huge piece of pumpkin there sitting off to the upper right hand side there. The rind you see on the lower part of this picture on the cutting board. Okay? Now I'm going to show you how to process that pumpkin. This is actually a lot of fun. Once I cut up that pumpkin and all the rind is off of it, I cut these up into small pieces like you would maybe cooking potatoes for mashed potatoes, except this time you do it for pumpkin. And it might take about an hour of boiling it here on the stove. But that's what you do. Then you drain the water off. After you drain the water off, these pieces of pumpkin are still going to be hot. So you put them in a water bath, a cooler water bath. This water bath will cool off the pumpkin. Once the pumpkin is cooled off, you put it in a blender and you blend it up in puree. I'm going to show you that process here. I'm sure I have it here. Okay? I don't think it's there. Okay, it's not there. I had it here already to show you guys. Just a second. Give me a second. I know I've got it here. There's that. Cutting up the pumpkin. Yeah, here it is. Let me show you how to make a puree. For those of you that don't know how to turn a pumpkin into pumpkin puree to make pies, this is how you do it. You cut off the rind off the pumpkin. You can see that rind. I cut off that particular piece of pumpkin. I throw the rind away. Then I cut up the pumpkin into smaller pieces like you see in this bowl right here. Then, when I have enough to go into a pot, I boil it until the pumpkin pieces are soft like you would find boiling potatoes to mash. The same thing applies with that. Then I take those boiled pumpkin pieces and I cover the pot and take it over to the sink and drain it. And once it's all drained, then I run cold water over it and get it ready to puree. Once the pumpkin pieces are sufficiently cool, I put it in a blender and make pumpkin puree. Then, once I've made that pumpkin puree, I've taken it, wrong refrigerator. Once I made that puree, I put it into bottles. I've got 2 bottles of pumpkin puree. This one is 27 ounces, 1 pound, 11 ounces of pumpkin mix. Yes, this was mincemeat before. I rinsed the bottle out, washed it up, and put it in my cupboard to use it for something else. In this case, I have 2 bottles of pumpkin puree right here. That's probably enough to make 3 pies with, just so you know. And all those rinds I'll take out to the trash in just a few minutes. But that's how I make pumpkin pies. And tomorrow I'll be making maybe even tonight, I'll be making pumpkin pies. Anyway, guys, we will talk to you later. This is Ron Tyler. Sayonara. Okay, that's what I did earlier today. Okay, just so you know. Had a lot of fun doing it too. But folks, there's more. Okay, there's a little bit more here. I've had a chance to do a lot of thinking and putting things together that I wanted to talk about for tonight. This is my to-do list for today and every day. 1, count my blessings. I want to practice kindness. I want to let go of what I can't control. More and more, I'm listening to my heart. Not just how it's beating, but listening to my heart, listening to the Holy Spirit talking to me. I want to be productive, yet I want to be calm. I want to just breathe. I want to relax. I believe this is a wonderful thing, especially to do during the holiday season. During the holiday season, people get all out of control. They get all worked up, sometimes for nothing. We don't want to do that. We want to stay in control of us. We want to share happiness with our families and those people that we love. This is what I want to do. Okay? I'm just sharing it with you. And there's more. Okay? There's more here. Now, this is a friend of mine that passed away this past Sunday. Russell Ballard. No matter how difficult the trail, we can take comfort in knowing that others before us have borne life's most grievous trials and tragedies by looking to heaven. I think this is well said. Look to heaven. Stop looking elsewhere, because elsewhere is not going to help anybody. Look to heaven. Lastly, let's be honest with ourselves. Be honest with yourself. Ask, do my actions show my love for Heavenly Father and Jesus Christ? Am I helping others around me to believe? If I were accused of being a Christian, would there be sufficient enough evidence to convict me? I heard this a lot of years ago as a youth. I found this here and I saved it to my hard drive, and now I'm sharing it with you. Be honest with yourself. Ask, do my actions show my love for Heavenly Father and Jesus Christ? Am I helping others around me to believe? If I were accused of being a Christian, would there be enough evidence to convict me? In my case, I think very much so. I wanted to share this with you because I felt it very important for all of us, especially during this holiday season. Please, let's share our life. Let's share our livelihood. Let's share our fun, talk, and have fun as families this holiday season. I would love to hear everybody having a wonderful time this holiday season. Now, we've spent some time together arranging a special message for Thanksgiving, and I want to share that with you now. I ask the Lord to bless you. Yes, Rob asked that I would put that out on Facebook and share it in Messenger, that video I put out for how to make pumpkin puree. I will share that with whoever would like it. I will make sure you get that information. But I have a video that we put together for Thanksgiving that I want to share with you. We spent hours together doing this a few days ago. We spent about 13 hours putting today's Thanksgiving message for you tonight. May God bless you. For those of you that will not be with us tomorrow, I ask the Lord to bless you to have a wonderful Thanksgiving with your loved ones. Think of what we just talked about, of how you're going to be happy, to be honest, to share yourself and your memories with your loved ones. Those of us who are older, please take a moment with your brothers and sisters and your grandkids. If you have a chance to sit down, write things, help them write things down so they will have memories of you. Tell them stories that you have done throughout your life. Share your lives with them. They will love it. They will love hearing Grandma and Grandpa tell them stories. They will love hearing their parents tell them stories as well. Fun stories. Make them fun and interesting. Teach our children or our families something important about each of you. May God bless you and be with you this holiday season. This is the beginning of the trilogy of holidays that we've talked about previously. Thanksgiving 2023. May God bless you and keep you. We'll be back here tomorrow evening with Emergency Management Associates. Have a great night, folks. God be with you till we meet again. Good night, everybody. Much love. Hello, this is Ron Tyler of Emergency Management Associates. We want to wish you and your family a very, very happy Thanksgiving. Long time. Forever. Living in Thanksgiving daily is a habit that will enrich our lives and the lives of those we love. Showing gratitude is one of the simplest yet most powerful things. Gratitude is a mark of a noble soul and a refined character. We like to be around those who are grateful. They tend to brighten all of us and all those around us. They make others feel better about themselves. They tend to be more humble and joyful and more likable. I hope you all have a very, very happy Thanksgiving. Be sure to give thanks to the Lord and also thank those of us around you who love and appreciate you as well, and you, all of us. God bless us all. Thank the Lord, our God, in all things.